make and why you need to make it. And the focus is more on staying alive more so than killing. Because getting past the first few feet of a dangerous polearm is the most dangerous part of fighting a polearm. So if you have a pole about this long, nice long war pole, you've got to get past this much range. This is the extreme range of the pole. You need to get through that. You can't really match it. They've always got the initiative. They're always going to pick when it's time to start. So there's really three major approaches I can go of. I've affectionately dubbed them: one, the brick through the living room window. It's the most direct, it's the most common to use, it's the best place to start. The other has been taught to me by Elaine. He dubs it the steady banana, I agree. The focus around the steady banana is maintaining your defense and keeping your best defense forwards. So it's a much slower approach. The third approach is what I dub the chess game. It's the most advanced, the most difficult, and it's the one that's going to get you killed the most. But once you have the hang of it, it's a lot easier. So, let's start with the breakthrough window. I get a volunteer with a sheet, or a volunteer to hold this.
I'll get a blade.
Let's grab the board blade.
Do you want a sword and shield?
Yeah, a sword and shield would be great. I don't own one. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you. So, as I said, the brick through the living room window is your most basic advance. It's the one you need to start. The idea is you're advancing as quickly as you can. Your defense is forward, so you're trying to get control and get in. The disadvantage to this is you need to be quick. It's the most dangerous, and they're going to step offline. The reason you want to approach that way initially is because it gets you through the minefield the fastest. And it's the simplest. You're presenting your most forward defense. There's a lot of different stances. There's plenty of nights who teach you different stances that will help you get through that. I can't teach you that. So, the reason this works is because you're shutting down their reaction time. The most they're going to get is 1 to 2 shots, and then you should be in range. You want to be throwing somewhere around here. If you start throwing any further out, you're too far away. If you try and control it by attacking, you've thrown your weapon away, and now you can't keep attacking. And now you're giving them the opportunity to counter it. So, the best advice I have with this approach, again, total defense, only start attacking when you're in range. Now, the shots you're looking for, if you throw a basic snap, he's going to block this all day. If you throw another snap in the offside, he's going to block it all day. We'll use hammer boards and rats. Because it's a lot harder for a polearm to defend from those two things. Now, the steady banana approach is again something simpler, but this time you're walking. You're not running, you're not rushing, and you're approaching down the sword side in a slowly spiraling. What this does is it limits the polearm's movement options. Their defense starts here. This is their final line of defense. Their first line is their motion. By approaching at this angle, what you're doing is you're forcing, if they come down the sword side, you're forcing them to come to you. If they try and disengage along the shield side, which he's instinctively doing, you maintain this circle, but you steadily get closer, and your defense is always facing them. It's your central defense. Your shield is your strongest defense. So if you can keep this pivoting this way, they can't pivot you this way. As you can see, when I come down here, my shield is much more open. I'm much more exposed. And this is what he's looking for. When you take the brick through a window approach, it's a lot easier for him to step down that line and open you up. Is this making sense to everybody? Cool, this is the part that isn't going to make sense. So this is the chess game. This is where your more advanced fighters are going to be. This is where a lot of the stances that a lot of the knights are going to be able to teach you a help. Because at the chess game, I think I'm about half an inch out of your range, right? No, I'm in range. Right. Yep. So I want to be around here. I want to be at a point where if he extends, I'm just outside of or just inside his range. The reason you want this is because now you're both actively engaged. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to do a small motion to get him to do something so that you can then capitalize. At this point, you can start thinking along the raised hand.
Yep. I've just got one of the things that Everard said in his class is if you've got your sword foot back, it allows you to do one step that can put you in range when you're doing something like this.
Thank you. I'd actually forgotten.
Yep.
That is actually a very good point. So you can see it from here if he comes onto his point. I'm stepping behind my shield now. And that's what Everard is talking about when he says that. Because that's giving me the cover. Now my defense is shocking the shield. A lot of you will have different results. But in talking about the chess game, we're both trying to control this line down the middle. This line is what we're fighting over. You can fight over this line by taking a really small step to one side. As you can see, I'm still online. He is just offline along here. That is enough control for you to be able to safely close, especially when you get initial contact. A lot of the guards I see people using for this sort of stuff right here, because now I've taken control. I'm stepping in, I'm getting strong with my sword, which is the longest reach I have, and can use it to control. So, does that make sense to everyone? I can teach a little bit of the chess game. I can probably teach it better from that side of things. But
There's another example with that one. Would you like me to step in?
please do. You've got some good advice, and if you have any input in any of the other nights, please do. Yeah. This is the second time I've done this. Yeah.
So if I'm shielded forward, I can, like, I'm without a ring, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm well enough. Alright,
It's like the range.
yes, this is the range. So if I'm here, I can bait the range, and if I get it offline, it's only one step. Like, you don't have to work your way in. You can just. It's something that many polearms really expect you to go step, block, control, and then start throwing. If you just get it offline, get into your range and throw. It means that you're acting in true time. So you're acting where all of their defense is committed to an offense, and you're stepping in and taking advantage of the way that the polearms work. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually the next thing I'm going to be going over is how the polearms work and how those different approaches work against those certain things. So one of the things that was just pointed out by this one is that extreme thrust. So who here knows the three main deals of thrusting with a pole weapon? You have your bayonet thrust, where you thrust with your body. The weapon is stable, you're using your body to attack. You have the full cube where you slide, but you keep both hands on it, and then your extension, where you let go and you only have one hand. Those have multiple use cases. Your extension thrust is your extreme range. The danger of that is you have the least control. That is the one where you are most likely to get injured. I've dislocated my wrist with it, so be careful. If it starts to go, let it go. Don't try and control it. Let go of the blade. They'll generally either go, ha ha, you're dead, tap, or they'll let you pick it back up. So better safe than going low. Now, the dangers of each of these is mainly what this one was talking about. If I go for a full cube thrust with control, it's a very long recovery.
And I mean, if you go for that same thrust,
it's very hard to control. So that is the danger of those thrusts. It's why you need to be careful with them thrusting, because it's very easy for you to lose control of your weapon. So rather than go for that full extension thrust, it's better to go control. Now, that takes away some of the brick through a window. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to go thrust, and then they can come through that window and you're going to be all the way up there and you can't do shit. The next biggest mistake I see people making is when the brick comes through the window, they come here. What is horrifyingly wrong with coming here?
Doesn't stop them doing anything.
There's no lot that's right at that point. You've got, from this spot, you've got these kind of cuts. They feel good, they're powerful, there's not a lot behind them, and there's still people coming to hit. The other mistake in the debate, they do that cross and they stay all the way up.
and even if I don't step in that case, you do that cross down here.
Exactly. So, maintaining control over your weapon is the most important part. Maintaining control over where the thrust is. The best way to do that is go, if I throw something coming down, recover it here. Bring it straight back. Because from here, if you do actually get in close and you can start throwing shots, my defense is already here, and you can roll out and throw cuts. Now, real counters to the brick through the window is stepping off one. I'm not necessarily going to be able to teach you the nicest way to do it, but really, once you come up to your guard and they're in, you want to be stepping out here. Or you want to bring them with you. So if they want to back up a bit, stop and step back. The idea is to get them to pick up speed. The biggest weakness of that is if they come at you too quickly. For the shieldsman, you want to make sure you're going at a steady pace. You want to make sure that you can stop on a dime and hit it. Because the pole is going to go sideways. Or they're going to come forwards. And they're going to try and get past you. As the shield, and as the pole, again, you want to try and go past them. You want to take them to go faster than they can turn. Now, the counter for the steady banana. So the steady banana, you're coming in at that shield side angle. If you step into it hard, you can press that shield in. Now, this isn't the best position. This is where you can stop their motion, and it's where you're fighting. This is where you're going to have to open up. This is where you're going to have to find your own things. But I found the feet offside is probably the best thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've got options, but I haven't put myself in a good place to actually get more options. Because I've committed the 1060. I've committed something to the clay, at the very least.
With the next step of that is you need to be careful. You need to change the angles as well. Because you've got that angle that's sort of moving like this. If you can keep the same pace, you can keep us both in this range, but nothing's fucking happening. You can step and then change your angle, and if they commit to it too much, you can get behind them. Now, countering the chest game is much of the same stuff. It's a lot of small motions. This is where your real fighting is actually happening. You're both playing for this middle line and making small motions. And they're going to get steadily closer. You need to find a point where you don't let them have this. Because this guard is great for concealing the thrust of their eyes. That is all it is for. This guard is better because I still have that thrust of your eyes. Yes, they can cover it, cuts. I've got lots of other places I can go to. This works whichever hand you have forwards. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the shield's in the way for different things. Being able to change hands is very important. So, the chest game itself is lots of very small motions. It is where you have those small steps to change the line. It is where you have bigger steps to change line at the right time. What you're looking to do is set up so they are offline when you initiate. And it's the same thing with the pole. You're looking to get around the shield through smaller motions. You're looking for a small
or creating something that the shieldsman is doing that you know they're going to do. Find one. Yeah. If you go to just pretend you've got shield, and I go thrust. I mean, there's no threat there, but if you want to extend this step in and go up,
then you can go.
and this, so transitioning in there, hey look, there we go.
There is a lot you can do from here.
And I'm going to bait that, step in to create that option, and then committed everything on this side. Oh, yeah, now I've got some options down here. I can cut time, I can disengage to go, okay, they've done something that I didn't want them to do, but because I created something and then, yeah.
So,
You've got some first questions?
I know one of the unique features of baseball is your left-hand lead.
Yes.
Right. Are you able to talk very briefly on what you see as the main benefit of left-hand lead
so the traditional right-hand lead opens up to some pretty well-known openings. So the most well-known opening you have is this pocket. You're targeting that here. You're stepping around the shield.
Right on it. That's right on it.
That is a max weapon kill.
No, it isn't.
No,
No, it is
all
not.
thrust.
Only a cut.
Oh, they're not? Okay, cool.
So the difference there is if you just lay it in there again.
Yep.
The difference there, so that is the point of my hit it's my belt.
So that's a leg?
That is a kill.
Yeah.
So, I've always had that rule wrong. My mistake. Yeah.
Right up over there.
You're looking for that side of the body. That point of the hip is the most exposed point. You're typically looking for it when they do this, because that opens up this point of the shield. Now, what you're looking for with left hand forwards, as an alternative, is coming up and around the shield. Because you can easily conceal your point behind the shield. It's not as good against the martyr. Or spear, I'm saying.
You want to
So, any shield will do at this point. So, whichever hand you have forward determines what kind of openings you have. So, with right hand forwards, you have cuts down this line and thrusts down this line. When you open up this way, you have high thrusts down this line, and then you have cuts down this line.
And at this point, my only option for a high thrust puts, I can see that shoot, and that's it. This to defend me against that thrust. Like, okay, cool. Now you can do whatever you want with your hands and find that.
Yes. So, additionally, when I come to this kind of guard, I can conceal the point of my weapon behind their shield.
I can't see the point.
Yes. If I do that on this side, it's a lot easier for me to get my contact on the pole as well. And this is a better way for defending your point than coming forwards like this, where you're practically offering two. And it's these same two guards. So, depending on which hand your opponent is holding the shield in, left hand or right hand forwards determines whether you've got better cutting angles or better thrusting angles. And it really is no difference between either as which one is better. They're both just as good. It's just that they give you different options. That's really all there is about which hand forward matters. Right, so let's talk a little bit more about like your actual in-type defense. So I mentioned earlier that your defense starts here. It starts with your feet. Because you've got a very long stick, and if you keep it centered, you have a really good just line that you can move. You actually have more coverage than shield. But when they start to throw things like wraps or hammer blows, it starts to become a bit weaker than shield, because it is just a line. Changing it off at angles is a good way to protect from things like hammer blows. But to defend yourself from a wrap, you need to be doing things like this. You need to throw your whole body. So
Now, with that, one of the things that I do is a good volta. So if we're set it up, and I want to do basically that movement, and I can just, all I'm doing is twisting with my feet to get those angles. And this also allows for, again, that true time, so I can throw as I'm doing it with that little off angle that I was talking about. Like, we just go, and that's a cut with it. So it's, and then that. So if I do it on this side, everyone can see. So all I've done from this center line is give myself a little angle and twist my feet. And that's put that into defense and offense at the same time.
So adding to that, there's a couple more expansions. How many people have gone through the X on the ground, this is how you stand, this is how you walk forwards, as far as like out of bound and center? Who here has done it with a semicircle around? So, in a lot of martial arts, in boxing, in various kickboxing martial arts, one of the things I've seen taught in the SCA is taken directly from you're an X on the ground, you stand with a heel on the central line, and you stand in front of the other one. So your ground, your center, it's nice and comfortable. Next expansion on that is you add a semicircle around the head. This represents the smallest step you can take to change your line, change your facing. So if I step forwards, I can change my facing by following that line. And I still return to that state. You can add a second one, which is the furthest out you can comfortably step. This is a big part of the defense, the whole arm that can really help a lot. Because now, if I've got someone coming down this downside, I can step and get it off the line very quickly. And that's what that can help you learn. This is something that you're probably going to have to do in your own time. Just draw a plus on the ground. As long as you have your feet on either side of those squares with that circle, semicircle, you can then experiment with it and find ways that you can step with it very quickly. These things are pretty critical to your defense to allow you to both disengage pillar and defenders. Those vaulters that we've spoken about are a big part. It's very hard for me to explain because I sort of just instinctually do it now. So that's about all I really have prepared for a theory side of things. If people are relatively new, we do have a bundle of polearms we're picking up. If people have questions, please ask them.
Yeah. I have one question. We were talking about in a tournament context, and you have anything to add to the war context. It's pretty good in war too, don't you think? Is it the same, sort of those same three tactics you talked about in war, or do you say, we're not playing chess games, we've got...
So, in war, you're pretty much going to run into brick through the window. Nobody's going to come to you slowly. So that is actually where a lot of just being able to step offline can save you a lot of time. But actually applying the polearm in war, you're not looking to come head on to your opponent. So can I have a couple of you and so, say I've got a friend standing here. I can go, you pick a fight with him, and I'm going to step offline. I'm going to look like I'm fighting him, and then I'm going to kill him. That's the correct way to apply pole in war, is don't kill the person in front of you. If you can, do it. Kill the person off to one side. You are a bishop or a pawn. And that is the most effective way to apply yourself. The shieldsman is the rook. They're going to come forwards, they're going to beat the crap out of you. It's going to be great. But yeah, Warfield, you're not there to play fair. I do have one more thing that I actually
That's sort of a shield wall sort of
Yeah, that was a shield wall.
everyone's sort of broken up.
If everyone's broken up, you're the opportunist.
Yeah.
You're not looking to play fair, you're looking to go, right, I've got these two are fighting, say these two are fighting, he's my friend, he's not. I'm not going to come up and form up here to help my friend. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to push him. I'm not here to play fair. Yeah. That's your goal as a pole. Your goal is to find the people who aren't looking at you and punish them for it.
Yeah, and kill them.
Yeah.
In the round one of our polls had says, hiding behind my toe. And I stepped out and my opponent had no idea they were there. They just appeared.
That is another fantastic thing you can do. I will actually use your bolt.
Yeah, but if you like literally attacking him from the side, does that kind of go against the rules of engagement or something?
Not in war.
Not in war. Everyone to
From how?
If they're in a line.
It is something you need to be very
You
careful.
need to be so killing from behind is you're behind. Alright?
You want to maybe just give a demonstration?
So
Yeah, let's do a demonstration, please.
Yeah,
Let's come out here so everyone can see. And we will be your engaging forces. Well, face us. So we'll demonstrate where it's safe to really engage from. So if he's acknowledged we're both here, and you push down this side, I push down this side, everything here is fine. Yep. We have not broken any rules yet.
I'm still aware of him because we've been engaging.
Yeah. They haven't disengaged.
I haven't disengaged, I haven't gone out of their range. So I know they're there, we're engaged.
Now,
If in that situation, I turn, I actively turn this way. If they were still engaged, they can hit.
Now, if there's a skirmish, here's an example of how to do it really badly. If these two are fighting, and I've come in from somewhere else, so you two are actively fighting. If he doesn't acknowledge me and I come in here and go wang, that's not good. That's bad engagement.
right.
At that point, what you really want to do is you want to let him know you're here. You want to say, hey, handle, and get him to turn. Or you want to step around to here, maybe throw a warning shot into his defense, That way he can acknowledge you exist.
Or even like from that point of view, you shoot them, right?
Yes, or kill him.
Yeah, if you just get played in front of the face,
In a war, you're dead.
like even if the place out there,
In a heraldic melee, step around to the front. Let him know you're there.
I've encountered poles from like 90 degrees, give like the courtesy tap on the shoulder, so that you kind of turn and look at them, so they get you.
Being very polite. You need to remember to be very polite. It's very easy to beat you.
yeah, and if you get that like, oh, there's a pole on there. Do you want to see the light, and then the next time they have that opportunity, they hit you on the side of the head. Or you want to go, thank you.
So this is the really important difference between melee and war. Right? If there's no killing from behind, then absolutely they need to know that you were there, and if they don't, you shouldn't throw the shot. Right.
Everard's got a question.
If you get, and don't just blindly do that.
Or do just funny when it works.
Because you're throwing at a target you can't see. And you lose. And it's just a gut to be so keep that in mind too.
But on that, I will occasionally have someone circling me, and even though it doesn't look like I'm tracking you, I know that they're tracking, and I'll throw the shot there because I know that's where they are.
But that's more in the case of you track them around,
Correct.
not someone doing a violation and coming in and going, woo.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
So, Loki,
Just coming back, Everard has a question for back to polearms. Everard has a question for polearms, I believe.
Yep. That was all we were pointing out.
That's it.
Before you demonstrated how the dog is done, you control the sort of person with your legal elbow from memory. How would you suggest a sort of board person breaks your control and takes control?
So, I find the biggest weakness in the life of sword shields across Australia is their lack of sideways movements. A lot of heavies tend to go forwards and backwards. The best thing a shieldsman can do, I've taken control of your shield. So I've managed to do something like that. The best thing you can do is go sideways. So I've put my elbow into the shield boss here and pushed it across there. If I've done this, and do not overpower me, which plenty of shieldsmen can do, your options are either overpower someone smaller than you, which is, depends on how big you are. If you're not that big, one can. Or you can step out and pass. So we do this. And what that is going to do is that's going to get your shield free, get you control of your shield again. I'm probably going to get a cut off while you disengage. I might get a thrust off, or we might disengage, start to reset, and I'll throw a thrust off. Your best option is to start trying to move like a polearm to counter their motion. Forwards and backwards is great because you know the shield is going to walk towards standing melee range with straight blows. But going sideways with them will give you your safety and help you get out of dodge. That's the best I've got.
This is very selfish. Which shot kills you the most?
Yeah, shots get me really good. The shot kills me the most. That's a hard one. I get killed by a lot of things.
From observing you at training, thrusts and elbows.
Yeah, that's
Get in close and go. That.
So actually, I mentioned a thrust, it's actually low and rising thrusts.
Yep.
So, the way they get me is when I defend, I come up. And you can all see how that works, right? So my main defense from a low thrust is this.
Yeah.
And that requires a lot of good timing. If I can't see the thrust, I can't time it. So you might go, I'm going to drop and then not throw it and fake the thrust and then I do. So it's a really good way to kill a polearm that comes up and then higher. Because it's very difficult for them to defend against low thrusts if your weapon's praising the sun.
If you're really confident in your ability to block what he does, faintly
have as a polearm is typically that it's very difficult for you to attack and defend at the same time, because you have one mount. So you need to be able to flow between attack and defense comfortably, or just go all out attack and run away. That's another option if you're faster. Do you have any more questions? Otherwise, we can get some newer fighters with some polearms and run some real simple stuff.
You were talking about for left, right versus thrust and
Yep.
and everything you were demonstrating was body shots.
Yes.
Do you actually go for the leg? I would assume that if you can take someone's leg, then you are going to cover it up.
If you can take it, so one of the problems with a leg shot with a pop. Oh no,
No, no, no.
it's not. That's not. No. So the issue is leg shot.
Yeah, right.
I haven't killed you. Now you can compensate with this, but you're still exposed. Whereas if you
there's also that number play there.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's just
for us,
like,
it's-
try because
If you can get it, take it. But generally, throwing a leg shot once your opponent is in range is very dangerous.
There's a time and a place for
All
it.
of your defenses do.
Yeah. Good leg shots are generally mid-fight or as a parting shot.
Yeah.
All the way up.
Rather than an opening. What's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Yes.
You were saying there are ones that give you the most coverage, some that are more risky than you need to rate up stuff. Is it the same for like the leg shots, like you only use a certain range and stuff like that with risk factor?
Yes. So you can get a leg shot in tight. So leg shots in here, they're generally what's open, but you do have better options that will actually kill your opponent at this range and you can defend it. So at this range, I'm looking to come over the shield more than I'm looking to go under. Because if I'm going under at this range, I'm fully exposing myself to counterattacks. Whereas at, say, out here, I'm relatively safe enough that I can throw that net out. So while you're using particularly a very long arm, the longer it is, the slower it is. The fastest point where you can hold it is where it's actually balanced, and that's where you'll get your fastest turnover, your fastest motion. But you lose a lot of range. So if you've got a lot of range and you're hunting for a leg shot, doing it at extreme range is where you're safe to do it. If you're trying to do it when they're closing on you and you're like here, and it doesn't matter that I've got that again.
And that's actually what
Yeah, that is
no, I mean, that's fine, just more as a,
that's
something to be wary of when you're using.
that
really long.
one of the major rules with polearm, I believe, is the 90 degrees. Either way, it's something to be aware of. So you have roughly 90 degrees. That's going to generate a lot of power. You don't really need to move much more than this to generate quite a lot of power. Doing the full back here can hit really fucking hard. So when you're using polearm, you need to be aware of how much power you can generate. And that does also lead into how you balance a weapon. So much like a sword, there are different balances that give you different mindsets and different things you can do. So the longer the pole, the more blade heavy it is, the more powerful your guts are going to be. So you have more weight on this end, you've got much more powerful guts, but your thrusts are significantly slower. Your recovery time is slower. If you can put the weight back down here, your thrusts become faster, everything becomes faster, but you lose a lot of power. This polearm is actually a really good example of it because we turned it around. This way around, it's very good for beating the crap out of people because this is heavy. This end, this way around, it's much better for fencing. Much better. So this one is actually weighted because of how thick the stick is. So it's not super obvious, but this end is actually thinner than this end. And that's actually a way you can adjust the balance of your polearms. So you can make them safer, so you can make them faster, so you can make them harder. A much better example I have is actually these two blades. So this one is significantly heavier, and they are exactly the same length. And they're roughly the same thickness and same weight overall. But because of these two lugs here, this is a very heavy cutting blade. This thing hits really fucking hard, but is really slow. I've been trying to throw less than a 7 with it. It's
Interesting.
I don't like it. It's fun. But, like, these are things you need to consider when you're picking up a polearm as far as safety is concerned. Those are still things you need to think about with axes. A lot of construction methods add quite a lot of weight or can be too soft for you to really land a good blow.
And yeah, this is like the opposite end of the spectrum. It's super light, which means that your body it becomes more about your body mechanics is better to land the blow with a lighter stick. But it is it's also short. Yeah.
So, I have a question. Who here has not played with a polearm before? So we've got 2 people who haven't fought with a polearm before. So if you guys want to play with one, we can do a bit of time without putting a helmet on. We can give you one if you want to. You can borrow my gauntlets. Yep. And then we can run a little bit with people who haven't done it before. I have a couple of polearms I can hand out. You guys can play with them, get a feel for them. Let's just have a play with polearms and other shields, see if you can apply anything I've mentioned. If not, you don't have to. You can just play and have fun. So, hats, come and get a blade. I got gauntlets people can borrow.
There is nothing. No. All of the tube that was there is broken shards that's hanging around inside, but it's still captured within.
How's yours such a weird shape? I wonder if it's a
So this one is split. I took the rattan and I shaved down the handle there.
Amazing.
And but before I do that, I actually split the rattan